What if I told you that you might be able to double your money in just 1 year? What if I told you that we're about to enter the biggest Bitcoin boom in history? And what if I told you that you could make millions by simply buying early and holding? Well, you won't believe this, but it's all true. And in today's video, I'm going to explain why. I want you to get ready because 2025 is going to be an incredible year. Let's start with some good news. Bitcoin has already recovered from its dip earlier this year. We've seen a lot of volatility since then, and prices have started to stabilize. This is exactly what happened in 2013. Right before the last big bull run, we also saw a similar price dip in 2017 before the historic bull run that took Bitcoin to almost $20,000. So we can say that this is a very positive sign for Bitcoin. And just wait until you hear what I'm about to tell you. In fact, this year alone, Bitcoin has seen more development than any other year in its history. But there's even more good news. The difficulty of mining new Bitcoin has also increased. Why is this important? Because it means that miners are still making profits. If they weren't, then the hash rate would decrease, but it hasn't. It's actually at an all-time high. This is because the mining industry is growing, which is driving up the cost of mining. But it's not just that. There are a lot of miners who have been in the business for years. They know how to mine Bitcoin efficiently and they don't want to stop now. But here's the thing. The amount of Bitcoin in circulation is limited. There will only ever be 21 million coins and 80% of them have already been mined. That means that new Bitcoin is becoming more and more scarce. In fact, by 2025, no more than 4 new Bitcoin will be mined every 10 minutes. At the rate we're going now, we'll reach this milestone in less than 200 days. And that's just the beginning. By 2030, the emission of new Bitcoin will be reduced by 50%. This means that Bitcoin will become even more scarce and valuable over time. So you might be wondering why all this is happening. Well, it's because the Bitcoin network is getting more secure as more people use it. The more people who use it, the more miners are needed to process transactions and secure the network. And the more miners there are, the higher the difficulty and the higher the hash rate. In other words, the more people who use Bitcoin, the more scarce it becomes and the more valuable it gets. And let me tell you something, more people than ever are starting to use Bitcoin. Let's take a look at some recent events. El Salvador became the first country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. This means that every single citizen of El Salvador now has access to Bitcoin and can use it for everyday purchases. It's a bold move, but it's paying off. Since El Salvador adopted Bitcoin, its economy has grown by 50% and poverty has been reduced by 20%. That's huge, but that's not all. Other countries are following El Salvador's lead. Recently, Argentina announced that it will soon adopt Bitcoin as legal tender as well. And this is just the beginning. Many other countries are considering doing the same thing. For example, Brazil is currently working on a bill that would legalize Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And there are rumors that India is interested in adopting Bitcoin too. And these are just some examples. There are many other countries that are considering adopting Bitcoin. And each country that adopts Bitcoin puts another nail in the coffin of fiat currencies like the US dollar, the euro, or the pound sterling. As more and more countries adopt Bitcoin, demand for it will grow and prices will rise. But there's even more good news. More businesses than ever are now accepting Bitcoin. Companies like Microsoft, Starbucks, Whole Foods, and many others accept Bitcoin as payment. And this trend is growing. A recent survey found that 86% of business leaders plan to accept Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies within 5 years. This is huge. Just imagine if you could pay with Bitcoin for everything you buy, groceries, clothes, travel, rent, you name it. This is already possible today. And as more businesses accept Bitcoin, more people will use it. And as more people use it, the more scarce it becomes and the more valuable it gets. And here's the best part. Most people still don't understand Bitcoin. It's complicated, I admit, but as more and more people learn how it works, more people will want to use it. In fact, there are 4 billion people in the world who don't have a bank account. Bitcoin could change that. With Bitcoin, anyone in the world can open a bank account and start managing their finances. This is huge. As more people learn about Bitcoin and its benefits, more people will want to use it. And as more people use it, the more scarce it becomes and the more valuable it gets. Now I know you're probably thinking that all this won't happen overnight, and you're right. But if you look at the bigger picture, you'll see that this is just the beginning. We're still in the early stages of mass adoption. And when the masses decide to jump on the Bitcoin train, prices will skyrocket. Remember that Bitcoin is like the internet in the 90s or smartphones in the early 2000s. It's revolutionary technology that will change the world. And those who get in early will make huge profits. Now, I want to tell you something that will blow your mind. I've been studying the Bitcoin market for years and I've noticed something interesting. Every 4 years, Bitcoin goes through something called a halving event. This is when the amount of new Bitcoin entering circulation is cut in half. The next halving event is scheduled for April of 2024, but I think it might happen sooner. You see, the Bitcoin network is secured by miners. And as I said before, they need to make money to stay in business. If they don't, they'll quit, and the network will become less secure. But here's the thing, miners are already making less money because the price of Bitcoin has dropped. If it drops any further, miners will start to struggle, and the network could become less secure. So what do you think will happen? Of course, the price of Bitcoin will go up. It needs to go up to make sure that miners are making enough money to keep securing the network. And once it starts going up, it will go up a lot. Remember, Bitcoin is a deflationary asset. That means that as it becomes more scarce, it should become more valuable. And here's the best part. The price of Bitcoin is usually pretty predictable. Every 4 years, it does something called a halving event. This is when the amount of new Bitcoin entering circulation is cut in half. The next halving event is scheduled for April of 2024, but I think it might happen sooner. You see, the Bitcoin network is secured by miners, and they need to make money to stay in business. If they don't, they'll quit, and the network will become less secure. But here's the thing, miners are already making less money because the price of Bitcoin has dropped. If it drops any further, miners will start to struggle, and the network could become less secure. So what do you think will happen? Of course, the price of Bitcoin will go up. It needs to go up to make sure that miners are making enough money to keep securing the network. And once it starts going up, it will go up a lot. Remember, Bitcoin is a deflationary asset. That means that as it becomes more scarce, it should become more valuable. So here's what you need to remember. The Bitcoin boom of 2025 is coming, and it will be the biggest Bitcoin boom in history. Bitcoin is becoming more scarce. More countries are adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. More businesses are accepting Bitcoin as payment, and more people than ever are learning about Bitcoin. All of this is driving up the price of Bitcoin, and it won't stop anytime soon. If you're not prepared for the Bitcoin boom of 2025, you're missing out on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Don't be left behind. Get ready for the ride of your life. Thank you for watching, and until next time.